So Amazon FBA predictions for 2025, what sellers need to know. So Jungle Scout made some predictions. I think most of them are relatively common sense. Some of them we can maybe debate. But Jungle Scout is predicting stricter compliance requirements and policy updates impacting sellers.
I
Now,
mean, we see
that
that
one I
all the
would say for
time.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just always happening.
Yeah, I'm dealing with a product right now. It's a slow seller for one of the brands that we sell in it's like a topical category, I guess,
Mhm.
creams and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And they were classified as skin changing products or skin coloration
Oh.
changing products.
Mm.
And we had tried to appeal it. The appeals got declined. So they want us to go through and do all this testing and stuff like that. And the brand is just like, it's not even worth it. Let's just not sell them. They're only selling like, 20 or 30 a month anyways.
Mm.
And
I
so
mean, mm, yeah, that's a tough one. How much is it gonna cost to get all that done? 10, 15 grand?
we didn't get that far in the process because I first requested, what it would take for them to do it. And so they sent this big long list of all the information that they needed. And one of the
Mm.
things is they have to be registered with the FDA and get paperwork from them for cosmetics under the cosmetics
Oh,
category. And so that's a whole thing in of itself. And so they didn't even want to go through that whole process of messing with it. They're a
yeah.
Canadian company, so they still sell it fine in Canada, no problem, but they're just
Mm.
not going to be able to sell them in the US.
That's too bad. I mean, there is a huge market for beauty here, that's for sure.
Yeah, for
Even
sure.
even yeah, we did a brand called Aquila once. It was a 3-stage process. Honestly, I don't even remember what it was. Um, but it was like a serum and a lotion and an eye lotion or something like that. And we did a very bad launch of it, and we still sold a fair amount of that.
Mhm.
And I mean, there's such a big market for it, but it has gotten much more competitive, that's for sure. It's one of the most competitive markets.
Yeah, and I've said it before. A lot of people complain about the stricter compliance, which I get. I've complained about it as well. But
I
the
think it's
the
good.
the bright side of that, the good side of that, is that okay, this brand that I work with, they've chosen not to sell those products anymore in the US. They're going to just keep selling their better sellers in the US. And if something comes up, we'll deal with the compliance on those because they sell
Mhm.
really well. But that's two less products in that market,
Right.
less competition in that market because of the compliance requirements that they're choosing not to go through. So if you're the one who jumps through all the hoops and gets through the other side, there
It's a big
potentially
moat.
could be a bigger pie for you.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's a good thing. Now, could they do a better job of it? Yeah. A better job of enforcing it? You're darn
Mhm.
right they could. Um, there an example was when brand and product gating was first introduced. I'd been selling a supplement for like 5 years on Amazon,
Mhm.
and then they did product gating for supplements, and they just said, "Oh, you can't sell this." I'm like, "The hell are you talking about? We've been selling this for 5 years." Like, "Oh, no, no, you're not allowed."
Mhm.
So, there's yeah, it's they could do such a better job of implementation and management and enforcement. But
Yep.
I think it's a good thing because if you have these junk companies coming in trying to sell products and there's no barrier to entry there, then well, what do you get? You get a whole bunch of people leaving negative reviews on your product to crash you down and then taking your buy box or putting their product on yours. Like I just saw an Instagram from somebody today. I sent it to you, Todd. I don't have it, but basically there's a fairly big supplement seller that's got like 20 different people selling
Mhm.
his product, and he can't get Amazon to take it off, even though he's got brand registry and all that stuff.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's so annoying. I haven't dealt with 20. I've dealt with 1, but
Mm,
definitely not 20.
yeah,
Now are those are resellers? They're not like knockoffs or anything. They're just resellers?
they're knockoffs. Like
They
this guy
are.
says in his video, yeah, he's the only one that manufactures this product and the only one that sells it.
Okay.
So they're
Yeah,
fraud.
that's annoying. I feel his pain, especially when it's so obvious that they're knockoffs. To any
Yeah.
human that looks at it, you know in a minute or two that they're knockoffs of the product. But yeah, it's hard.
Even
Dealing
if
with
you
the
don't.
one seller that we had that was obviously a knockoff coming from China, selling at half the price. Amazon wouldn't take it down until we got the product
Yeah.
delivered to us, and that
That's
took like a
that's
month.
the other thing. Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing that is total bull. Is that
Mhm.
you have to buy the product. What if you have 10 people? What if you have 20, 30, 40, 50? So you got to
Yep.
go out and spend 5 grand, 2 grand, 3 grand, whatever it is, to buy all this product and wait while they're killing your sales and taking them and bankrupting you, let's just say, uh, because probably that's what's happening. I think it's baloney.
Yeah.
Like, you know, this is not a new thing. This has been happening for over a decade.
Yep. Well, and the other
Amazon
part
does.
that's angering as well is that, eventually we got the seller removed, right? So
Mhm.
Amazon finally was like, okay,
Oh,
yeah, obviously they're not legitimate. But
and a different
then
one came on.
Prime Day comes around and we can't run Prime Day deals because it's going off of the 14.95 that they were selling it for when it was a
Oh
$30 product.
man,
And so it's little
such
things like
bull.
that are annoying where one hand doesn't talk to the other,
Yep.
and we could have opened up a case and stuff and maybe fought with seller support, but that probably would have been ring around the rosy kind of
Yeah.
thing, I'm sure, because they would have had no clue what we're talking about.
Yeah. Exactly. This is the stuff where if Amazon just legitimately listens to not just the big sellers, because I know there are some very big sellers that they tell them what's going on, but
Mhm.
there's got to be some sort of system where it just goes, oh, if some seller fraudulently sells this product, let's remove all data affecting the account or the
Yeah.
product for that. Like, I mean, it's common sense
Yep. Yep.
to me.
Well, and the other thing is, so we're not going to talk about it in the show, but Amazon is challenging the ruling that they're liable for recalls and stuff like that. And so
Mhm.
that makes me think about, so we proved that that seller was selling fraudulent products. Shouldn't
Yep.
Amazon recall all of those products that were sent out to customers, reach out to them and be like, "Hey, these were fraudulent products that we allowed to be sold on our website,
Yeah.
even though we knew that they were fraudulent because the brand told us so." you know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, I
exactly.
feel like there's something there in terms of liability for sure, knowingly selling fraudulent products like that.
Yeah. Well, I hope this goes in our favor. Like, do you remember when we used to have to remit state taxes for
Hmm.
every sale we did in every state and how horrible that was? And there was only tax jar that could be used and it was
Yep.
super expensive. And now Amazon does it for you and they charge you for it. And I happily pay that extra penny or whatever. But that was something that happened in our favor, but that took years.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that one was becoming a nightmare. If Amazon wouldn't have stepped in to do that, that's just, I mean, what a
Let's be
hassle.
honest.
I mean, that would have
They
destroyed a
didn't
lot
step
of
in.
companies.
Yeah, let's be honest. They didn't step in.
Well, yeah, they were forced to for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because on one side they'd say, "Hey, nope, Amazon customers are Amazon customers. These are not your customers. Oh, you have to pay taxes on your customers' purchases."
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. They always talk about that these are Amazon customers, not your customers, and then they turn around and say, "Well, we're not liable for anything that's sold on our platform because it's not our
Right.
product."
Right.
Like, well,
Yeah.
make up your mind. Which one is it?
Oh, no, no, no. Amazon will have made up their minds. It'll be, we carry no responsibility unless,
Mhm.
or all responsibility unless it's inconvenient for us or makes us look bad. Then it's your fault, and we're going to
Yep,
punish you for it, even if we did
absolutely.
it.
Yep, for sure. It's I mean that's what else you can't expect anything else. It's just kind of the way
Yeah,
things work with a company that's the size of Amazon. They don't
yeah.
exactly have morals or anything when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's true, and it has grown to such a level. Do you remember that that Reddit post about the person that just made every case that came across his desk um,
Mhm.
against terms of service, or they were breaking terms of service? I can't remember exactly what it was. That's a perfect example of that. Like
Yeah,
you
he
get,
just auto declined every appeal, I think is what it was.
yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
costing businesses literally millions of dollars,
Yeah.
right? Because he was afraid that his statistics would look bad on Amazon, and he got acknowledged, he or she got acknowledged for doing a good job. Like
Yep.
this is the problem where where just making yourself look good is more important than doing a good job.
Yeah, I had an issue with seller support yesterday actually. So one of our products went down because we have a trademark term in the product because it works with that trademarked product,
Uh-huh.
right? So we have that, fits this, this, and this, and this, and the brand names that it fits with. And so they took it down. And so I opened up a case and said, this works with, it fits with, this is all under terms of service and everything like that. And they replied back with the stupid scripted response of no
Yeah.
response, right? So I opened
Yep.
up a chat and the guy, I replied to him, I'm like, hey, this is under the works with terms of service, shouldn't be a problem. And then he replies, like, what can I help you with? I'm like, well, can you see the rest of the case? All the information is in there that we've been having a conversation around. And then he replies again. He's like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. What can I help you with? I'm like, can you not see the case? Or
Yeah.
and then he's like,
So
oh, let me look and I'll get back to you. And he never came back. The chat just
yeah.
sat there for like a half an hour with no more replies to any of my
Mm.
messages. It's just
I
so he
would
was
have
just being
expected the
lazy. He
case.
didn't want to read the case.
Yeah.
And instead of actually trying to help, he just, I don't know if he disconnected me or just put me on hold or whatever, but
So
stopped
I
replying
would
to
have
it.
yeah, I would have assumed that that they that this person would have closed the chat because it used to be that Amazon graded you on how fast you closed cases, and that's when we had those 2 years of just like you put in a case and it gets closed as resolved without
Yep.
any response or anything. Um, I'll bet you that he's going and just leaving that open to put time on the clock, and then he can say, "Hey, look at how many cases I've resolved
Mm-hmm.
over this period of time. This one took 30 minutes, but I got it resolved. That one took 35 minutes in the same hour,
Yeah.
and I got both of them resolved." I'll bet you that's what it is. You should try responding today if you
It
still got
it
the
could
window
be.
open.
I should check the case again because I closed the chat and I went back to the case and I just sent a message by email. And when I went into the case, the chat conversation was not in the log at all. So I don't know if he
Interesting.
removed it somehow or if it was just not there yet. I'll have to look today and see if it's there. But these kind of things are not rare. They happen every day
All
if
the
you deal
time.
with
Yep.
support and have lots of
Yep.
products. So
Yep.
it's just
Yep.
very frustrating.